What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, let's talk a little welterweight boxing. My favorite weight class, first or second weight class, of course, is that, and the heavyweights. And we have a couple fights that are rumored to be taking place. That is, or late in negotiations. Errol Spence Jr. versus Sean Porter, and Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao. The first fight is something that it's like about time. The second fight is like no ducking goes unrewarded in boxing. So we're gonna chop it up about that this morning. But before we do, welcome back, subscribers. If you are not subscribed, look on your screen, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of when we release more videos and when we do our live streams every morning, Monday through Friday. Start times sometime between 10:30 and 10:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. Also, check us out on Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern for OG Boxing Talk with Blood Boxing and myself and a guest on the panel. Also, check out the Patreon. Got something coming up this morning. All right. So it's been reported by a couple different places. Mike Coppinger is the source of the Ring magazine writer, is the source on a few articles that mentioned it, where Errol Spence Jr. will be fighting Sean Porter, or is in negotiations, almost final, with Sean Porter for September. Just say September. And Manny Pacquiao, Keith Thurman for May. Let's talk about the first Errol Spence Porter fight. I'm going to talk about why I think this is a good fight and as good as any fight in the welterweight division, and also what I think will happen in the fight. This fight is a fight that I wanted to have happen before the detour that took Errol Spence to Mikey Garcia in a one-sided boxing lesson / destruction a few weeks ago. God, what was that? Is it early March 16th, I think might have been the date for that fight? Yeah, it's a fight I didn't want to see when it was first asked for, because I was like, come on, man, let's get unification at 147 pounds. Errol Spence Jr. got into the ring with Sean Porter after Sean Porter beat Danny Garcia to win the vacant belt. And Sean Porter said yes in the ring. As soon as he got outside the ring, he said, if this fight doesn't happen, it's not because of me. Now that Errol Spence Jr. was tremendously successful against Mikey Garcia in Dallas, they didn't sell out, but 47,575 people, I believe, were the numbers. And then pay-per-views that are trending towards 400,000 pay-per-views, the last that I heard. That is a tremendous success. And now Sean Porter is willing to have that fight. More than likely, they're going to want to have that fight, or more than likely, they're going to have that fight on pay-per-view. So that is a big cash out, big payday for Sean Porter. And I think Errol Spence Jr. is going to win this fight. Errol Spence Jr. has something that not a lot of boxers have in boxing right now. And that is fighters like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Gennady Golovkin, Canelo Alvarez, obviously Manny Pacquiao. Guys that have fought on really big stages. And fighting in front of 47,000 people, or fighting on pay-per-view, headlining in your own pay-per-view card, that's what they call being under the big lights. Errol Spence Jr. has now been under the big lights twice. Once traveling over there to Sheffield and beating Kell Brook, and now in front of his hometown, in front of 47,000 people. This guy's battle tested under the big lights and under the big moments, and in both times that he's been there, the dude has really shined. So Sean Porter, this will be the first time Sean Porter's on pay-per-view. If it's in Dallas, I'm not sure how many people. They'll probably have Man, see if they have 35, 40,000 people there for that. I know September is during the football season, high school football season, all that good stuff down here in Texas. So, we just, be conservative about the estimates of people that will come to the fight. But it's a lot of people, and it's a big pay-per-view. And we'll see what Sean can step up. Now, I think that this is a good fight. I know there's a lot of people that are talking about wanting to see the Terrence Crawford fight. But to me, any fight that's a unification fight between the four champions is a good fight, because it gets us one step closer to knowing who the man is in the welterweight division. And there's a lot of people that want to just say this off the cuff, hey, the best two welterweights are Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, and tend to forget that Sean Porter's still there and Keith Thurman's still there. And whenever you have an opportunity to have two guys come together and unify a belt, that's a good thing. And I think, and I've said this, I've been pretty consistent with it, that is consistent with everybody. It's consistent with it. I mean, it's the case for everybody. If it's Terrence Crawford fighting Sean Porter, I'm fine with it. If it's Terrence Crawford fighting Keith Thurman, I'm fine with it. If it's Keith Thurman fighting Sean Porter, I'm fine with it. And if it's Keith Thurman fighting Errol Spence Jr., I am perfectly fine with it, because it gets us one step closer to the unified welterweight champion of the world. That's where I am. And I was consistent with that in the heavyweight division when Anthony Joshua fought Joseph Parker. There was 3 champions at the time. Joseph Parker had the WBO belt, and Anthony Joshua had the IBF and the WBA. Deontay Wilder had the WBC. I was fine with Joseph Parker fighting Deontay Wilder or Joseph Parker fighting Anthony Joshua. Either one of them is fine, because you get unification and you get one step closer to undisputed. Now, as far as this Keith Thurman fight, man, I just got to say that all that ducking and running, if this fight winds up happening and Keith Thurman winds up on pay-per-view for having hit out in the Himalayas for several years until the fight happened, man, that would be, it's a realistic fight for Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao is probably seeing Keith Thurman looking vulnerable. He didn't look that good in front of Josecito Lopez. Manny Pacquiao's not a champion right now. He's got the WBA belt. Keith Thurman's got the WBA regular belt. The super championship, or he's the WBA super champion, while Manny Pacquiao's the WBA regular champion. So it is a way to clean up the championships in the WBA, but it just seems like it's not right, man. Keith Thurman was held his own, 2 years out of the ring, had defended his belt one time in the last 2 years, and then to walk up and get a pay-per-view fight against Manny Pacquiao, which is what he's always wanted and he's talked about wanting for years. It just seems like a sneaky underhanded way to go about getting that opportunity, man. But, I can't blame him for taking that money. I can't place any blame on Manny Pacquiao for not fighting Errol Spence. There was talk about Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. When Manny Pacquiao went to Dallas, I said this before, Manny Pacquiao was there in case Mikey Garcia won. If Mikey Garcia was able to beat Errol Spence Jr., then Manny Pacquiao would have been fighting Mikey Garcia next. The way that Errol Spence Jr. maybe should have got hit. If he wanted that Manny Pacquiao fight, Errol Spence Jr. probably should have just got, let Mikey hit you at least 100 times, But when you only get hit 75 times by a guy like that, he just overperformed. And Manny don't want no smoke, man. And look, man, there's a lot of Manny Pacquiao fans that come to the channel, and you get upset with me. Like I say, I'm a boxing fan. I like Manny Pacquiao. I've been a supporter of Manny Pacquiao for a long time, well before the hype train for Manny Pacquiao started, right? But you guys get crazy, man. It's not happening for Manny against Errol Spence. It's not happening for Manny against Terrence Crawford. And Manny knows that. Okay, same thing I would say to Floyd Mayweather Jr., really hardcore Floyd Mayweather fans. It's not happening for Floyd against Errol. It's not happening. Okay, it's not happening from Floyd against Terrence Crawford, because those guys right now are in their prime, or Errol Spence is getting very, very close to his prime. And they're just, that's just what it is, man. That the generations change and somebody else becomes the man. But anyway, the first of the two fights, Sean Porter and Errol Spence Jr. gets us a step closer to seeing who that man is. The other fight, I'll watch it. But anyway, it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. Peace.